The Cars 3 trailer has the coldest line ever said in the franchise, but it was left out of the movie. When Lightning McQueen was going through it and was stuck in a rut trying to regain the racer that he once was after that crash he suffered, he was lost because he didn't have his mentor Doc Hudson. Then he got the idea from Mater, well, why don't you go find the guy that taught Doc? Smokey. Seeing Lightning McQueen and Cruz Ramirez arrive in Thomasville, the home of Doc Hudson, Lightning McQueen is on a time crunch to find Smokey, but he's got time for this to race where his mentor raced. We see him take off and Cruz follows him, and we see Lightning do that famous slide that Hudson taught him, and we see why Doc Hudson had to learn that turn where if you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right. And we see Cruz Ramirez now finally putting that together and being able to do it herself too. I love how this film pays homage, and we get to see that Lightning McQueen and Cruz Ramirez are driving through Doc's old tire marks, following in his footsteps, so to speak. We see this truck waiting for them at the finish line, and Lightning hits their brakes, and we come to see that this is Doc Hudson's old teacher, his boy, Smokey. Lightning breaks in front of Smokey, and the first thing Smokey says to Lightning is, "I'm starting to think I'd never meet you." Smokey knows exactly who Lightning McQueen is and why he's here. When Lightning McQueen suffered that crash, it changed him and put the fear in him. He feels he's on a clock. He's told he's got to give it up, but he doesn't want to give it up. He loves this thing. He still has something left in the basement. And his biggest fear is that he's being pushed out the same way that Doc was, because Doc wasn't the same after his big crash either. Throughout this film, Lightning has been trying to train himself to become the racer that he once was. And it's Smokey that tells him, "You'll never be the racer that you once were. You can't turn back the clock, kid. But you can wind it up again." That line is so cold, and it was said in the trailer, but it wasn't said in the movie. But that line, it encompasses everything that the movie is about. If Lightning McQueen was younger and he had this accident, sure, he'd come back like nothing happened, but he's older now. That was a huge injury. Also, time is not on his side anymore. He does have a clock on him. So Lightning will never be the same McQueen that he was. You can't turn back the clock, kid. But you can wind it up again. Which is why Smokey and the other legends train Lightning to see things differently this time. He's got to be more tactical. He's no longer a young athlete. He can't just burst his way through all these problems. Nah, you got to look at the big picture this time. It's now a game of patience. You got to sneak through the windows to get your opportunities to pass other cars. You got to rely more on instincts now. You got to drift too. And Lightning's like, I don't want to drift. I've never had to do that. Hey, you're not who you were before. These are the things you have to do in order to win now, in order to stay in this game that you love. Which is why I love how harsh the line is, but how inspirational it is at the same time. The promo for this movie said it repeatedly themselves. From this moment, everything will change. Lightning McQueen will never be the racer that he once was. He cannot turn back the clock, but he can wind it up again. It's such a brilliant line. I feel like it encompasses everything that the Cars movies, except for the second one, we don't talk about that, it was a cash grab, was trying to talk about. Why it wasn't included in the third movie, I do not know. Maybe it's in the, I don't know, deluxe edition or something like that, but it's such an important line. And it's so important that this line comes from Smokey, because Doc's not here to tell Lightning this, but his best friend and the man that trained him is. There's levels to this car shit, man, I'm telling you. And maybe I got a soft spot for this film because I was a student athlete in high school and I had an injury that man, it took me out from doing something that I love. I got to go into the arts instead, but I loved doing this. I was a pole vaulter and I loved doing it, but I couldn't really do it the same because of this injury. And 1 year later, we had a meet of alumni and stuff, and I got to do it again, and it was like I never left, baby. And it was fun. I was now jumping against my underclassmen that were now seniors. Got to tie it up for the old guys, but I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to wind the clock up again. And then when I left, I felt that shit unwind because I was hurt, and I was like, oh yeah, I couldn't do this again. Oh no, it was a one-time thing. But I think that's why I go so hard for Lightning and why I love this movie so much and why that line just resonates so hard. And it's just a shame that it wasn't included in the actual movie.